Thermo Fires, Clubman's regional saloon cars roll out onto the track for their opening race of the day. And Thermo Fires, of course, being the main sponsor for the Clubman's, but they've also got a couple of product sponsors as well. GSW Supplies, Executive Decisions, VW Audi Clinic, City, DTM Nissan, DTM Renault, Afritech Cooling, and of course Auto Pro. Those are the other sponsors together with Thermo Fires, which are the main, or is I should say, the main sponsor for Clubman's regional saloon cars for 2024. Well, there was 30, I think, entered for this one. We'll see how many of them do make it out on track. I see Jesse Huggett's out there doing qualifying this morning. Jess Huggett in the Jetta 2 had trouble out there with that car, but whatever the problem was, they've got that sorted out. And Jess Huggett that runs a Jetta 2 in Class A is out on track. He's busy working his way around. So, lovely field of Clubman's regional saloon cars as they fire off their 2024 main circuit regional championship season. As a matter of fact, next Friday evening at Oakdale Sport Club in Belleville, they will be hosting their 2023 championship awards evening for their winners, but they fire off the 2024 season today at Killarney International Raceway. The Auto Pro Cars, one of the product sponsors out there, that is the Skyline of Stephen Heidenrich. He is leading that field around behind the pace car Gaza as the field works its way down towards turn 5 towards Pertamina Fostron.
Well, I tell you what, it's the nicest field we've seen for a long, long time. It's almost disappointing when you look at the bottom of our screen, Frankie, and it says only 8 laps. It would have been fantastic if it was more than 8 laps, because with this number of cars, wow, it's going to be awesome stuff. There's been a bit of turmoil in the rules and regs and what have you regarding Thermo Fires Clubman's, but then again, it's part of evolution, I suppose.
Gaza, I've got information from Jordan here. The cars have gone out on their out lap. Then they're going to stop the Clubman's cars on the grid. We're going to have the 1 minute silence for Johnny van Niekerk and for Johan Grinling. And then after that, we will have the Clubman's saloon car race sponsored by Thermo Fires. So we're just going to have Gary Fleming and Ian Little that's joined us in the commentary box today. A man that did commentating many years ago with the late great Mr. Brian Peake and Rodney Goldberg and that crew on top of the old Dunlop and then Goodyear Bridge. He is our guest in the commentary box for today. And Ian, welcome, sir. Lovely to see you. I haven't seen you for many years.
Thank you, Frankie.
Push it all the way up, then it'll be on.
Thank you, Frankie, for those kind words. Yes, the last time I was down here racing was in 1980, so that's some 44 years ago. And in those days it was very different to today. Watching young Lanfear going around there, I took a look at the times, and he's actually going faster than what Dave Charlton did in his Formula One Lotus in our time.
She was, yeah.
So things have improved. I must say the circuit is also beautifully laid out, and you chaps are doing a great job here. But
before you and Gary continue, I've got one question to ask you before you and Gaza do the minute silence. Do you still do the write-ups for the newspapers?
I don't do write-ups anymore in the Tiger Burger. I do a little bit of radio now and again. But, you know, time goes by and I've actually retired, so it's actually a wonderful opportunity to be up here with you guys.
Right, I'm going to hand you over to Gary, and you and Gaza can do the tribute for Johnny van Niekerk Sr. and also for Johan Grinling.
Well, we're just waiting for the folks to get lined up on the grid down the bottom. Ian, let me send to you person to person an invite for Second Gear Talk Show Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Killarney International Raceway being one of the main supporters and sponsors of a Second Gear Talk Show, which is now in season 5, year number 4. And I'd like to do a tribute to the life and times of Ian Little on Tuesday night, sir. So if you're available, I'd love to have you on a Tuesday evening.
It's very kind of you, Gary. Where exactly are we going to do this talk?
You're going to sit in your lounge behind the laptop or your cell phone on a program called StreamYard, and we will tell the folks about the life and times of Ian Little while you're sitting at home in your man cave and surrounded by the memorabilia that you've collected through the years.
That's very flattering, but no man cave, huh? Anyway, you're welcome to do it. Be marvelous.
Well, folks, a major loss to motorsport in the Western Cape, to motorsport in South Africa, and to the Van Niekerk family. A man that was beyond legend. Legend is a very weak word for Johnny Van Niekerk Sr. It doesn't explain the amplitude of what this man meant to a very successful family, that he created the basis for the Van Niekerk family, and then the Van Niekerk family going forward to be of such financial and social support to Killarney International Raceway based on what Uncle Johnny actually started. Johnny Van Niekerk, it's with a heavy heart that we learn of the passing of Cape Al Drivers founder member and Killarney stalwart Uncle Johnny Van Niekerk on Wednesday, 14th of February, at the age of 82. Johnny was one of the pioneers of stock car racing in the Western Cape. He began racing in 1969, driving a 1957 Chevrolet. Later competed in a 1961 Chev, a V8 Chev-powered Edmunds sprint car, and even a Ford Anglia to help promote the then new 4-cylinder class. All these cars were later offered to younger drivers to race under the Goodwood Body and Spray Works banner. Among the many drivers he sponsored were Jack Holloway, his son Francois, Brian Tyler, J.C. Smith, Jan Swart, who won the 1975 and 1976 Cape Al Drivers 8-cylinder championship in a Ford sponsored by Uncle Johnny. His passing leaves a huge hole in the fabric of Western Cape motorsport, and you'll be sorely missed. Our thoughts and prayers are with his children and their spouses, John, Anarine, Janine and Mark, grandchildren, Kiara, Tamika, Caitlin and Christopher, all of which second-tier family have become racers in their own right. To the Van Niekerk family, from all of us, it's just as big a loss to us as it is to you. In the words of one of his employees, a member of the Killarney family who he recruited to come and work on the forecourt of Wingfield Motors, the big man believed in me. He saw the human inside the uniform, and that there could be no better epitaph for Johnny Van Niekerk. Another man that we need to honor today as well, also one of our own and one of our insiders, one of our movers and groovers that makes things happen in the background, is Johan Grundling. Johan Grundling, today we also pay tribute to you, racer, race car builder, and pit crew extraordinaire, who passed away on Saturday the 9th of December from complications due to lymphoma. Johan started racing hot rods in the mid-1970s. His circuit racing career started with a modified Ford Escort at Kyalami, until that was written off in a monumental crash at Sunset Corner. Johan built the first class E-car and went on to win the class in its inaugural year before taking on a new role as crew chief for Carlo Kaiser. Always ready to lend a helping hand to a fellow racer, Johan was renowned for his generous nature and his stubborn streak. Los maar uit, ek weet wat ek doen, he would say, unconsciously paraphrasing a famous Finnish Formula One driver. Our thoughts and prayers are with his son Werner, the Grundling family, the Kaisers, and his many friends at Killarney. He will be sorely missed. Folks, this is two utter icons in motorsport in South Africa and for all year at the Western Province Motor Club. Ian.
Yeah, thank you for those kind words on Johnny Van Niekerk. I knew him as a racing driver. I first met him at Goodwood way back in 1966, and as you correctly say, he was racing his Chev at that time. He was always a smooth but hard driver, and competing against the likes of people like Johnny Clifton, Dion Duval, Bill Lenz, Dup Duplessis, and Ray Butters. He was very, very competitive and always prepared to help one out. If you had a problem, he was there. He'd say, "Don't worry, I can sort it out for you." Going back to those days, racing at Goodwood Showgrounds was something totally different. We had capacity crowds, we had exhibition racing where we had people like David Piper, the 9-hour racer, competing, Peter Goff, Bobby Olthoff, Koos Swanepoel. They were all there, and we had gigantic crowds watching. And there was a case when you went to drive at Goodwood on the gravel, and that you had to have very hard pumped tires because it was gravel and tar in some places. And what would happen, you never got a practice session, so you didn't know what to expect. You got into a car you'd never driven before, and you had a guy pushing you behind you, a guy pushing you from the side. It was real heavy metal type of things. And these cars, in those days, we only drove up to second gear. They could get up to 90 miles per hour in second gear. And you'd find that you'd get a lot of wheel spin as well at that time. But being here today, what I did notice, Storm Lanphier, grandson of the former Western Province Motor Club president, Ted, and also part of the Lanphier family that included Formula Ford contender Guy Lanphier. He put in some very good times, faster than the Formula One racer of the late 60s. So, on that note, I must say to you, gentlemen, I'm going to hand over back to Gary. Gary, you're doing a fine job. Great to have you here. And keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Folks, I'd like you all to please stand, remove your headgear, and honor two of Western Province Motor Club's best ever in the 6-year history of Western Province Motor Club. To the family of Johan Groenling and Johnny van Niekerk, from all of us at West Province Motor Club and everybody watching today worldwide, our thoughts and prayers go to you on the loss of two amazing souls from your family and from motorsport in South Africa.
Thank you, everyone. Well, from my side, Uncle Johnny will really be missed. I know Derek Peake that works there now he's only been working for Johnny Jr. for a couple of months, and even Derek was saying to me, he's one of our co-commentators as well, what a fantastic, fantastic man Johnny Sr. was, adored and loved by everybody at Wingfield Motors and at Goodwood Body and Spray Works. From my side as well, rest in peace, Uncle Johnny, and rest in peace, Johan Groenling. Right, here we go with the Thermo Fires Clubman's Regional Saloon Cars, race number 1 for 2024. Mike's side will be myself, Frankie Ennis, and Gary Fleming. And we will take you through the Thermo Fires Clubman Saloon Cars. There's one race coming up after that. We did go through all their product sponsors as well. That was sent to me by the man that just walked in the commentary box, Mr. Clint Renard. So Clint, thank you for sending me all that information that I asked you for earlier this morning.
No problem, Frankie.
Well, Clint, new season starting, and a decent field, a good field for the start of the new season.
Yes, Frankie, we had a good entry yesterday. We've had about 8 cars that fell out, so it would have been more promising. There's going to be at least another 10-15 cars next race meeting, so Clubman's will be back to what it was
Fantastic.
Previous years.
The way it's supposed to be.
The way it's supposed to be.
Well, when last did you see a field that size? Clint, new committee and everything already in place?
New committee will be put in place on the 29th. That's Thursday. Interim, it's myself and Lance Jonas and Gunther Drosky, and we'll be having a new committee in place on Thursday.
I take it you will also still be available?
I will be standing vice chairman.
There we go. So Mr. Technical becomes Mr. Vice Chairman / Technical for 2024. Right, working their way down the back main. I think the smart money's got to be on the likes of Steven Heidenreich. They have done lots and lots of homework on that motor car. Time and effort. But remember the last event, Frankie, Oliver Hintenhuis was blindingly quick with that BMW of his as well. So it might actually turn into a bit of a three-way battle, if you ask me, with for Mark Hintenhuis and Heidenreich.
And then watch out for Margaret as well in that 50 car. He'll be out there in Class A. The Progress Precision Engineering BMW. He's working his way through at turn 5 through Fostron as the safety car will now peel off to its right into pit lane. And we await 8 laps of Thermo Fires saloon car action as they head under the City of Cape Town Bridge. The red lights are on in pit lane. Gaza, Gary Fleming, take them off the line. Let's go racing.
All right, here we go under the City of Cape Town Bridge. They're just waiting for the lights to change, and there the lights change, and it's all systems go down towards turn number 1. Will it be Heidenreich that will get that whole shot? Will it be Hintenhuis down into turn number 1? Look at that pack of cars. Does everybody get through there? It looks like everybody's going to make it through. Remember, Jesse Huggett had a broken gearbox at the last event. He got a new gearbox in. He didn't complete the early practice this morning, but he is there in that front group of 10.
I see Paul Minnick is also just leaving the pit lane, making his way into turn number 1. But right now, it is Steven Heidenreich that sits out there in P1. It's Hintenhuis in second. It's Charles Visser that's there in that third place as they make their way through Interceptor corner. Visser sitting there in P3. Michael Assier is in there behind him as they work their way up the hill and into turn number 4. Sidle sweep through the double right-hander. Sidle sweep they come now down the back main, and Visser's all over the back of Hintenhuis, who's all over the back of Heidenreich, who pulls 3, 4, 5 car lengths on them as they race down towards turn 5. Pertamina Fostron.
Well, that whole shot is very, very important because there's not that much between the front cars. Class A, B, C, D.
Oh, somebody's gone off. Somebody's gone off right down the outside. It's actually Kyle Visser. I do apologize. It's not Charles Jr. It's Kyle that is in that Polo. But there is a car that's gone off there in turn 5 in Fostron. And it was one of the group of 5, 6 cars that was fighting it out for the lead.
I do believe that was in fact Carl Visser that went off. That's the yellow and red Polo. So we'll try and pick that one up for you as they all work their way down into turn number 1.
Right, so out of turn number 1 they come now, working their way out of Castrol corner through the kink. There's lockups and little battles all over the place. The leaders are busy working their way out of turn 1, out of Interceptor corner. Carl Visser that sits there in that third place has lost a little bit of ground to the two leaders that are making their way through turn number 4. At this stage, down the back main they go. Steven Heidenreich, he's been hunted down here by Ollie Internaus. Down the back main they go. Then it's Visser in P3, followed by Michael Asier. Jess Huggett is right there as well. Marco Retta coming through. Baby Jakes and Willie Swart is right on Baby Jakes' case as they work their way through turn 5. Fastron.
Shea just ahead of Smith, Hendricks, Gaspar, Bruce, Surf. Wow, is that the Gavin Surf that's back out there again?
Yep, yeah. It is the Mr. Spur himself.
Wow, that's fantastic. So the leaders, Heidenreich from, remember we said Hinternaus was very quick at the last event. They ahead of Visser. Then this year with that super quick Mark 1 Golf. Behind that is Retta. Then Jess Huggett. Behind Huggett coming in the corner now. That's Baby Jakes back after a long time. Swart goes through. Hendricks, Shea, Smith. That's the red and yellow. Behind that is Eugene Gaspar was the next man that come through. Then Bruce and then Gous and then the old man that's back in it again, Gavin Surf.
Right, so the leaders are making their way out of turn 3, out of Interceptor corner, working their way up the hill towards the double right-hander. That's Sadel van der Merwe sweep, or just known as Sadel sweep. Out of Sadel sweep they come, down the back main, and we have a new leader. Oliver Hinternaus has hit the lead. Steven Heidenreich has dropped down to second, but look at Stevie catch him. Stevie is right on his case there. Steven Heidenreich right on that back bumper and dives up on the inside. And he does not make the move stick in Pertamina Fostron. The lead still belongs there to Oliver Hinternaus, but he has been hunted down by Steven Heidenreich with Carl Visser that sits there in that third place.
Carl Visser having a very, very good run as he works his way down the front main. First ahead of Lucia, Retta, Huggett, and then Baby Jakes, the next man that comes through there. And Baby Jakes has been out for a long, long time. It's fantastic to have people like him back in this class once again. Down into turn number 2, it's action aplenty.
Right, so we'll keep an eye on those two that's making their way out of Castrol corner. We do apologize. We're picking up camera problems. It doesn't matter what Gary presses. It seems to be doing its own thing. So we'll get the technical crew to work on that one. But we'll continue with the commentary going up the Tygerberg Straight towards a turn number 4, Sadel sweep. It's still Ollie Internaus in P1 with Steven Heidenreich in second, Carl Visser in third, and Steven Heidenreich was all out of shape. That thing was squirming underneath him as they make their way down the back main. Michael Asier going down the back main, Marco Retta, Jess Huggett also working their way down the back main as the leaders are working their way through Fostron.
No shortage of power for those two cars up front. Heidenreich and Hinternaus got lots of power, and then staying ahead of Visser as well. Lucia, how does he make that golf go the way that it does? Retta still staying ahead of Huggett as they come out of turn 5. Bit of a gap back to Baby Jakes, but remember, Baby Jakes is second in class. Visser is class X, and then Baby Jakes is also class X as they work their way down towards turn number 1. Look at Swart, Hendricks, and Shea as they work their way down to turn number 1, and that all behind Jesse Huggett.
That is behind that Joseph Hendricks and Baby Jakes. That's the two cars you see on your screen there with the Willie Swart in that Jetta 2 right in there with them. JP Shea in there as well. Jess Huggett makes a disappearing move into turn number 2. And here this fight comes. Here this one is on. It is Joseph Hendricks. It is Baby Jakes. It is Willie Swart. JP Shea joining that party as well as this group of cars we're talking about work their way into Interceptor.
Yep, into Interceptor they go, but let's go back to the back main because our leaders are working their way down into turn number 5, and well, somehow he's got it right. I don't know how, but he's showing Heidenreich the way around. That man that you see on your screen, Oliver Hinternaus, that had such a great meeting at the first opening race of 2024. We had the historical tour that was here. He's carrying that through to today's racing and doing a brilliant job of stretching Steven Heidenreich to the limit.
Well, the leaders are working their way out of turn number 1 right now, and that is Ollie Internas. Look at that skyline squirm around. There's Michael Essier and Mark Aretta working their way out of turn number 1, but Jess Huggett, that is following suit. Behind Jess Huggett, will pick them all up now. That is Joseph Hendricks, Baby Jakes, and Willie Swart, and they've been caught there by JP Shea. Stephen House is having his own little battle out there with Gary Smith. They're having their own little fight, and then catching them after going off in the earlier part of the race is Jaco Lambert that's coming through, and right behind him is Algan Gaspel, and right on his case is Dexter Bruce. Dex is right on the case of the Silver Dream Machine coming out of Castro Corner.
Still our leaders working their way down in towards turn number 5, and it's still Oliver Hinternaus from Stephen Heidenrich. Visser is doing a brilliant job in the Class X entry, but just a little short there. You see on your screen, that is Visser. The next one to come through should be Michael Essier. Waiting for him to come into the camera shot. Michael Essier has disappeared because I don't see Michael Essier anywhere.
No,
and there comes Jess Huggett.
Michael Essier is off the circuit. I was just told to me here by Jordan. As a matter of fact, Gary, if you looked out the window going on the inside, on the entrance of turn number 3, that is where the Golf of Essier is parked. But it's a 3-wheeler. It's a -1 wheel. Right, Jess Huggett making his way through the corner out of turn number 1, but the leaders will pick them up now. Sadly, our cameras are busy playing mind games with us. We'll have a look and see where they are. They're making their way towards turn number 4. They should be working their way out of Saddle Sweep. We'll pick them up now. Down the back man they go. There goes Oliver Internas. Yes, he sits out in P1. Then it's a back marker. Then it's Stephen Heidenrich. Then it's Carl Visser as they work down towards turn number 5. Fostron corner. 1 or 2 more back markers to come through. It's a huge gap before we see the rest of them.
Where's Jesse Huggett?
There comes Jess making his way out of turn number 4, racing down towards turn 5 Fostron.
And
we've got a car in trouble, Gaza, in Castro that looks like it could be Gary Smith.
Yep.
That's in trouble there.
Yeah, he was having a lovely dice earlier on. He's actually gotten out of the car, and he's decided to walk away from that one.
That is the Jetta 2 of Willie Swart.
So Willie Swart, the man that's not made it any further, he's unfortunately out of that, and we've got somebody going very slow down towards turn number 5. Is that Dexter Bruce that's got a problem? Dexter Bruce into turn number 5. He had a gearbox go on him late yesterday afternoon. They replaced the gearbox. He was all smiles this morning and expecting the best. And it looks like Marco Retta has gone off on the entrance to turn number 5 as well.
Right, so I'm looking for the leaders. There they come. They're making their way down towards turn number 4. Into turn 4 they come now. The laps are running out. This is the flag lap, as a matter of fact. Down the back way they go. Where is Heidenrich? Stephen Heidenrich is not in P1, he's not in P2, he's in P3 is Stephen Heidenrich. As they go down the back main, Carl Visser has been promoted to 2nd place as they make their way into Pertamina Fostron for the final time. The checkered flag is out, and Gary, the victory will go to Oliver Hinternaus in the coastal car. Here he comes towards the checkered flag.
Yep, coming up towards the checkered flag is Oliver Hinternaus. And I think you'll be super duper chuffed with that. Carl Visser is in that 2nd position. Visser doing a lovely job. Heidenrich slowed right down in the Auto Pro. Oh, he's right off the gas completely. Will it be Jesse Huggett that makes it to the line? Yes, it is. It's Jesse Huggett that comes through in that 4th position. Then it should be the Class 6 entry of Jacobs. Yep, that's Jacobs, but it's coming up towards us now. Behind that would have been Shea. Jacobs comes through. There comes Shea. Slightly different paint job on that one.
Then Jaco Lambert coming through. Gary Smith making his way through. Algan Gaspel working through. And right there with him is Joseph Hendricks across the line. Man, that was some great stuff. Stephen House also finishing his race. And Dexter Bruce brings the I think it's the 143 for today, across the line after having, as Gaz has said, gearbox issues yesterday afternoon. As a matter of fact, when we did the breakfast show this morning, he said, I put this thing together for you guys.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for you guys.
He dedicated that one to us, and I must say he's also, like Ernest Page, somebody that puts an immense amount of effort into not only his own motorsport, his own motor car, but also into the promotion of motorsport and the presentation of motorsport to the general public as well. Talking about the general public, to the folks at home, apologies for the camera shots that has come through to you on the first race of the day, the fourth race of the day, and this one. Intermittent electronic problems that cause that we don't have proper control over the cameras. Hence the opportunity for me to commentate a little bit in between. Yeah.
So winning Class A is Ollie Hintenas, winning Class B is JP Shea. Well, they've just taken that one off the monitor, so we'll have to go and have a look over here. Class C was won by Dwayne Bernard. No, it wasn't won by Dwayne Bernard. Gary Smith finished first in Class C. Class D was won by Dexter Bruce, came home first in that class, and Evert de Toy in that blocker flat. Sorry, the Falcon. He came first in Class F, and of course Class X was won by Kyle Visser. So that was the Thermo Fires Saloon Cars race number 1.